When it comes to using learning transfer techniques to solve workplace application problems, there's three things to keep in mind. First, almost all the solutions that you might need have already been invented. Learning transfer research is so extensive that everything you might want to use has already been thought of, tested, and proven by somebody else somewhere. You don't need to create from zero. Start with a list of what already exists. Second, the same solution won't work for every problem. I've seen a lot of well-intentioned L&D folks try something like, "We'll involve managers before and after every training," or "Let's have reminders to follow up every program so learners don't forget." Or maybe, "We need coaching after every intervention to support application." Now, all of these are good ideas in some situation, but not all. What's absolutely critical here is to be precise and surgical. I mean that transfer, application, and follow-up, these require a lot of goodwill, effort, time, and energy from real busy line people in the flow of work. And if you waste just a little of those resources, you'll get burned. If the line folks don't see an immediate benefit that outweighs their burden, they won't support you the next time around, and your learning transfer career is basically toast. So this is a real case of less is best. So definitely go for high leverage activities that lead to big results with minimal interference in the flow of work. The third thing to be careful of is that some smart sounding solutions don't actually work out in specific work environments. For example, if you design a super high-tech automated reminder system to help people recall information, well, sadly, it won't work with people on a factory floor that don't have timely access to devices. From our experience, some of the biggest differences between organizations seem to be those that love high-tech IT fancy digital solutions like electronic performance support systems, and those that work better with old school pen and paper analog type of stuff like job aids and checklists. Another common difference is that some companies work well with a formal process that involves managers, kind of a top-down accountability through rules and hierarchy angle. On the other hand, some organizations respond much better to informal, fun, kind of motivational sparks to individual learners, where they have a lot of choice and kind of autonomy about what they do. Okay, with that background, let's look at specifically how to select solutions to overcome on-the-job problems. To get started, you'll need a list of tricks or solutions that you can go to when you're planning how to overcome learning application barriers. I'd say it's best to have a map or a matrix of the types of training that you're doing, the likely problems that learners will have applying that training in the workplace, and common solutions to those problems. So maybe something like this. This example shows the type of training, expected application problems, and common solutions. So let's look at a couple examples. In the problem analysis video, we talked about sales training that was very information heavy. Let's follow that on this map. The category is knowledge. Common problems are too much information that gets forgotten over time. Okay, so looking to the right, it tells us that spaced reminders to beat the forgetting curve will help. Good stuff. Another example we had was training to use a new CRM. Let's look at that map again. Since this is only relevant when using the specific system, I'll call this situational. The problem is that since this isn't the learner's main job and they don't do it all the time, other work pressures seem more urgent and they'll likely revert to old ways of doing things. In this case, reminders wouldn't be much help because there isn't much information they need to remember. Instead, they need easy-to-use and succinct job aids and checklists that show up only when they're using the CRM system. That will help them navigate the software quickly and effectively. Looking at these two situations, they're actually quite different. The first relies on psychology to aid recall, and the second uses a tried and tested performance support tool. Okay, now one word of caution. Some people hear these examples and they say, oh, I don't do sales training, or we don't have a new CRM to implement. That's completely missing the point. The specific training topic isn't important, but what is important is the type of training. Do you have to remember a lot of information? That's knowledge. Do the learners have to do something new and well in a specific situation? That's situational. Do they need to learn something so well that it becomes second nature and they do it as an unconscious habit? That's more of a habit. Do they need to change their mindset to see the world differently? That's related to perception. And each of these styles of training have predictable application problems and proven solutions supported by research. To really design effective training, being able to predict the application trouble and plan to overcome it before the training starts will dramatically increase your chance of training success. To close, let's set some expectations. Professor Robert Brinkerhoff has spent decades in evaluation, showing that usually about maybe 1 in 6 people apply what they learn on the job and get the results as expected. And what we're trying to do is to increase that number from 1 to a couple more. And through our experience with hundreds of clients, if you can predict the application problems and you create kind of a robust architecture around the program, you'll generally get results something like this. About 30% of the learners will use the content well and get great results. About 50% will use some of the content and get maybe less exciting results. And about 20% or so of the learners don't do enough to get results worth mentioning. In short, designing to overcome application problems will probably double or triple your impact. At the same time, you'll always have a range of results, so the goal should be to help more learners get better results. In the next video, we'll look at how to package and present your ideas to managers and clients in a way that they'll understand and hopefully buy into. Please follow us here and on LinkedIn. Good luck.